with this. Just on yesterday's John Campea Show, we were talking about an article in the Hollywood Reporter talking about the best wrestlers turned actors, right? And we did our top 10 list. And a really interesting conversation came up about where does Dwayne Johnson belong on that list? Obviously near the top, but is he at the top? Should be number 2, number 3. Is Dave Bautista a better actor than he is? Is John Cena a better actor than he is? We just saw Peacemaker last night. And in the midst of that conversation, I said this. It's something along the lines of, Dave could very well be number 1 at some point. But I said, right now, I just think Dwayne Johnson is it. When you look at movies like Snitch, and you look at movies like Faster, and you look at things like that, Dwayne Johnson just has a much wider range. You can do more than Dave Bautista can right now, but that might change in the future. Well, whenever I've talked about Dwayne Johnson, I've always said this. He's my favorite movie star, or probably my number 2 favorite movie star. That doesn't mean I think he's the second best actor in the world, but I've said, Rob, he's a very serviceable actor. I mean, he'll never win an Academy Award.
That's okay.
But he's a very serviceable actor. Well, one of the, if not the most predominant trades in all of the movie business, Variety, put out their rankings yesterday as who they believe are the favorites for an Academy Award nomination and maybe an Academy Award win. And Dwayne Johnson's on that list. Not only is he on the list, he is ranked high. Take a look at this. According to Variety, right now they rank the top guy to probably win is Jesse Plemons for Begonia. But in the number 2 spot, they've got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as number 2, above Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein, and Timothée Chalamet for Mighty Supreme. Now, they also have their next list down of the outside shots, and that's, of course, you got to have Daniel Day-Lewis on there, George Clooney for Jay Kelly, one of my favorites, Russell Crowe for Nuremberg, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners in the number 9 spot, and Handsome Hawk in the number 10 spot for Blue Moon. By the way, I'm really looking forward to Blue Moon. That looks great to me. But let's go back to that main list. Bring up that main list again. Right there at the top. Do we have, there it is. Nope, the main list. Let's go to there it is. Jesse Plemons, the number 1. He's an amazing actor. He's going to have Oscars on his mantle. Dwayne Johnson at number 2. Now look, we all saw the trailer for Smashing Machine, and we're all like, wow, that looks really good. And Dwayne Johnson looks great in it. I mean, and I don't just mean visually because he barely looks like himself, but I mean, it's just a little trailer. It's just 2 minutes long, but this is some of the best acting I've seen him do. This is really good. But Rob, even though there have been whispers that there could be some Oscar attention for it, we've got Variety have him ranked at number 2. That means they're saying he's going to get nominated. And in their opinion, he's going to get nominated. Not only is he going to get nominated, we're living in a world where major trade is saying Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who doesn't like strudel, he likes pie, is the number 2 contender to win Best Actor at the Academy Awards coming up.
Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. What a great time to be a sports fan. Basketball playoffs are on. Hockey playoffs are on. It is the perfect time to jump into the action with PrizePicks, the easiest and most fun way to turn your sports knowledge into real winnings. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made really simple. Just pick more or less on a few player projections, like points, assists, goals, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. For example, this week, I've got Jalen Brunson for more than 24.5 points, or Jason Tatum for more than 6.5 rebounds. I love how fast and easy it is to lock in a lineup in just under a minute. Plus, they've got a couple of weekly features, like, for example, Flex Friday. If your lineup doesn't win, you get your net losses back in promo funds. And every Tuesday, check out Taco Tuesday for discounted player projections up to 25% off. So download the app today and use the code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game.
Rob, tell me your reaction when you saw this. What do you think about this, and do you actually think he has a legitimate chance?
Well, here's the thing, John. I mean, actors are just people, and you've got plenty of people that had never acted before that come out to LA and New York and they start to go to acting class. The thing about Dwayne Johnson is he's been performing for audiences. His stage was The Ring rather than being up on, the Broadway stage or whatever. But it doesn't surprise me that any human being, I mean, he's been in movies now for what? Almost 3 decades.
Ever since The Scorpion King.
Yeah, and I would say, I would say, or at least a quarter century. And I would think, you talk about putting in 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours to get good at something. I mean, with the amount of movies he's been in, the amount of people that he's worked with. I mean, if you think about the co-stars that he's been in some of these movies with, people that are very experienced. I mean, wasn't he in Emily? Wasn't he in Jungle Cruise?
Yeah,
Yes.
with Emily
With
Blunt,
Emily
who he is starring with again in
Yeah.
Smashing Machine.
Sure. So you think, okay, Emily Blunt is no slouch. And I'm sure anybody like, especially Dwayne Johnson, who is, I mean, might be a smashing machine, but he's also a working machine too. I mean, he has put the time in. So it doesn't surprise me, especially when he's put in a position to play a real person, and that it's a biopic, somebody that he probably had a lot of knowledge of or experience of, and it doesn't surprise me. And I think that just because he was a pro wrestler doesn't mean that after putting in as much time as anybody who started to study the acting career or what acting means, that he's come out of it being a great actor. He's certainly put in the time. So,
well,
and this is if there's a role he could get Academy Award for, this would be the role.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this reminds me, because I saw somebody in the live chat saying, well, if this isn't a sign of the Academy failing, I don't know what is.
Oh, come on.
Here's said by somebody who hasn't actually seen the movie or seen the performance. But this reminds me a lot, Rob, of the Robert Pattinson situation. Because, a lot of people act surprised whenever I bring up Dwayne Johnson. I'm saying, he is a better actor than you give him credit for. The problem is, and it's kind of understandable, is that the people who want to push back against that are usually people who have only seen Fast and the Furious,
right,
or only saw Scorpion King. It's a lot like the Robert Pattinson situation when he got cast as Batman. Because you remember, Rob, when he got cast as Batman, we were like, this is great. And there were a lot of people going, what are you talking about? It's Twilight Boy. Because it was
Twilight
people
Boy.
who never saw that string of like 6 and 7 indie film projects that he did, where he was amazing.
Well, like Good Time. He was in Cronenberg's Cosmopolis.
Good
He
time,
was in
Rover.
Claire
All these-
Denis' science fiction film High Life. I mean,
there was a reason that Christopher Nolan got in line to want to work with him.
Right.
But people never saw the work that really impressed. I feel like a lot of that is the same with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A lot of people out there have never seen Snitch. And
Right.
I think Snitch is his best work, to be honest with you. A lot of people haven't seen Faster, in which I thought he was really good in. You often bring up, Rob, Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
And Pain and Gain was years ago, and he's just gotten better since then.
and
So
that's a Michael Bay movie people haven't seen very.
Yes.
People are like, wait, what movie?
So like when people hear us talking about Dwayne Johnson, their frame of reference, understandably, is, well, he's just the guy in Fast and Furious, or he's the guy in Jumanji, where he's trying to play a caricature of himself. So I get it. If that's all you've seen, I understand this trepidation. But if you've seen his bigger body of work, again, I still never thought he'd be Oscar level.
No.
I still never would have picked him to be a favorite to get an Oscar nomination. But if you've seen his larger body of work, you wouldn't guffaw so much when people say, Dwayne Johnson's actually turned into a pretty good actor. And right now, I guess the award watchers are saying he's a favorite to get this. I don't know, Rob. I'll still be stunned. If Oscar announcement day comes along and his name gets read, I will still be stunned. I don't know about you.
Well, I look, I probably would be stunned, but remember, every actor, I mean, Harrison Ford was a carpenter, literally. You know, he's building people's shelves, and he knew people in Hollywood, and he got cast in these small roles. And
he was a roadie for the Doors.
People, yeah, people work on their craft, and it's funny because people aren't born actors. You know, they have to study. Some people are very good at it, but Dwayne Johnson, the same way, you know, we were talking the other day about, I was mentioning how yesterday, I think, how comedians can become great dramatic actors or comedic actors. I brought up Robin Williams, in one of his first roles was in World According to Garp, which was a dramatic role. And, you know, you wouldn't think necessarily that your first inclination wouldn't be to think that comedians are great actors, but what do? They're out there telling stories. They're doing stand-up in front of live audiences. They're learning being a stand-up comedian is to act. It is to understand how to work an audience. I mean, you look at a guy Dave Chappelle has done. I mean, I think if you ask Dave Chappelle to do some dramatic work, he probably could do some great work. So it's not surprising a guy like Dwayne Johnson, who spent most of his life, his adult life, in the spotlight, on a stage, interacting with audiences, has honed his craft over 25 years to become an Academy Award caliber actor. Now,
and to your point, like, it's not like just that, oh, he's got some natural acting ability. Like, you pointed this out the other day. For 30 years now, in as much as he, like, even people who don't like Dwayne Johnson, nobody questions his work ethic.
No.
Like, nobody on the planet questions his work ethic. And not only does he, like, put in the hours every day to build his physical physique, for 30 years, he has been training like a madman as an actor. He has been training with some of the best people. And it's really not surprising when you got a guy with that much natural charisma, give him 2.5, 3 decades putting in the work, he's going to develop something.
Yeah, 100%. And deservedly so. I mean, you know, you put in the time. It's weird because I think that one of the things about our fan community, with all due respect, is a lot of people are only interested in a specific kind of movie. It surprises me that people forget Pain and Gain even. I mean, a Michael Bay movie, everyone's like, I love Michael Bay. I love the Transformers movies. But when he does something out of his wheelhouse, you know, when he makes an actual stab at doing an actual a docudrama about something that really happened, yeah, it's a Michael Bay movie. But Dwayne Johnson gives a great performance in it. You know, he's also really good in Jungle Cruise. He's playing a part. I mean, he's a sea captain and he's doing what he's supposed to do, but he's very engaging in that movie. And I have to say, John, I have a soft spot for San Andreas.
I mean, listen, and I don't disagree with you. Look, I love him in Jumanji's. I didn't love Jungle Cruise, but I liked him in it.
Yeah, you're right.
I like him in
Yes.
San Andreas. But even though I like him in it, I would never watch just those movies and think, you know what? I see Oscars in this guy's future. So I think we're about to see something. I think we're about to see something very different from Dwayne Johnson in the Smashing Machine. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The most preeminent trade in entertainment, Variety, is saying not only do they think that Dwayne Johnson is going to get a Best Actor nomination at the Academy Awards for his work in the Smashing Machine, they're saying he might be one of the favorites to even win. Hard for me to think about that. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.